Hello and welcome to the 14th episode of the Bookbreakrs podcast. With me as ever are the two boys, Paul and Enda, the fountains of reason. How are you lads?
Almighty.
Oh, Jesus, fantastic.
Viva Ronaldo.
Viva Ronaldo.
Whatever.
Right, so what we're going to talk about this week then, guys, is we're going to rate the transfer windows of the big four. So City, United, Chelsea and Liverpool. And we're going to get your thoughts on how they've done, or whether they've done good or bad, whether they should have done more, etc. So without further ado, we're just going to jump straight into it. We'll start alphabetically. So Paul, do you want to give us your views on Chelsea?
Well, I think what you look for with every transfer window is to address your weak positions in your squad. And I think one of Chelsea's big weaknesses last season was a goal scorer, which they certainly addressed by bringing in. To my mind, there's probably only maybe 3-4 players in the world that are likely to score as many goals as Lukaku will in a season, and I think they've done well with that. I think they've left themselves a little bit short at the back. I thought selling Kurt Zouma, whilst he's not the greatest defender that the world has ever seen, he's solid. He's a solid Premier League defender.
He's probably the biggest defender the world has ever seen.
Yeah, he's a beast, really. But I think it was a bit strange to some. I think they were linked with that Jules Koundé, but that never seemed to transpire. So
yeah, I think they have this Chabaloa guy now who's coming in and looks like he'll be
Trev.
Chalobah, yeah.
I reckon they do play with a three at the back, don't they?
I reckon Kante kind of smooths that over.
I wouldn't disagree with you. I don't think they're heavily reliant on their central defenders. I think since he's come in, Tuchel, the one thing he's definitely done is solidify the defence. They don't concede goals. I mean, they were down to 10 men for a whole half against Liverpool at the weekend, and I mean Liverpool just couldn't break them down. I know it's difficult when you've got 10 men behind the ball to break a team down, but they did it really well. I think since Tuchel's come in, Rudiger has been brilliant. Yeah. He didn't get a look in.
I think that was a real Paul. I think that was a real pointer actually to the title this season. That second half performance by Chelsea. You go a man down, 1-1. You shut up shop and you leave with a point, and they managed to do it.
Yeah.
So.
And it was difficult for. I mean, Liverpool really didn't create that many clear-cut chances. Like Mendy had 1 or 2 saves to make, but Liverpool have the players to break a team down, but they just couldn't. And I think I think it said a couple of weeks ago that I thought the defense might be their weakness. I don't think selling Zouma has strengthened their defense, but I think they're still my favourites for the title.
I disagree on their defence there. Like, I mean, you have Alonso. I know he's getting on. You have Azpilicueta. I know he's getting on, but they're playing out of their skin. You have Reece Williams can play centre back, right back, and in front of all that you have Rolls-Royce Kante. I disagree, to be honest. I don't see anyone stopping them for the title, to be honest.
No. I mean, nor I.
Yeah.
No. I
still think
they're still my favourites. Yeah.
I went into a whole grading system here for some peculiar reason on mine, and I have them. I have kind of 3 or top 4 that we're discussing here. I have them into kind of 3 groups: top class, average to middling, and just okay. And obviously, Chelsea I have in as top class. You didn't mention Saul Niguez at all.
No, well, I was.
You were getting to that,
I think he's been a good addition to their midfield as well. Yeah. Like you said, I think the midfield covers, especially with Kante in there. But I mean, Jorginho to a degree as well. I think it covers that defense anyway. So
how did they manage to pull off a loan deal for Saul? It seems like a bizarre move for Atletico, who just got Griezmann in the door and potentially looking to challenge for the title again. Seems like an
you get
one.
these
is there a salary cap? Is there a salary cap in Spain? Is there no?
I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of why they did it. It just seems a bizarre kind of move. Like, if you're going to sell him, but like loaning him seems odd.
Yeah, he's pushing on as well, to be honest. So maybe
It might have been that he listen, it's hard to if a player wants to experience something different, we're better to go to the reigning European champions. It's kind of, I suppose, it's something different from his point of view as well. Maybe he just wanted it.
London as well is a big draw for all the continentals as well, isn't it?
I can't imagine why, because I had the misfortune of being down there for a little while. You can keep it.
Where are you now? Manchester. I'd say that's an upgrade.
Yeah,
it's a bit quieter.
So it's Lukaku and Saul. Enda, what's your view?
I agree. Also, they've done good business on the other side. I mean, they're doing their whole dodging fucking financial fair play thing up the wazoo, sending all these lads out on loan, and they've got what 50 odd million for Tomori and Tammy Abrahams. That's fantastic business, like.
Yeah,
they do that quite a lot. They do. It's a real business model they have, isn't it? It's signing up all these young players, bringing them through, loaning them out, and then selling them for big money. I think Man City seem to be doing quite a bit of that recently as well.
I feel like Tammy Abraham got a bit of a raw deal. He didn't do
Yeah,
too
but I
much
think
wrong,
Tuchel even said that though, didn't he? Tuchel even said that after he left. He said it was probably his fault for not trusting him enough, and that he's probably a better player than maybe Tuchel gave him the credit for. But it's easy to say that when you just sold him, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't agree entirely. I mean, he's useless. I mean, he can't score. He's a touch of a donkey, like.
I don't know. He
scored plenty of goals for them.
Yeah, but he needed 3 or 4 chances. Like you give fucking Lukaku 1 chance.
Yeah, they said that about Andy Cole as well, and Andy Cole is the 3rd highest Premier League scorer of all time. I think it was Glenn Hoddle that said it about him. He'd need 4 chances to score a goal. He must have been getting a lot of chances.
Well, that's
scored a lot of goals.
United were the best flat track bullies in town, like, so he had plenty of chances, didn't he?
Possibly.
Yeah. He can't resist a dig at United, can he?
He's obsessed, man.
Facts,
but you know what the funny thing is? I was thinking about this on the back of that snidey little comment he made about Ronaldo earlier on in our little WhatsApp group, and I was just thinking, I don't make comments like that in the podcast about Liverpool. He's obsessed, as a lot of Liverpool fans are obsessed.
No. You're getting ahead of yourselves again, right? And like you're getting on like Ronaldo coming back is the second coming of Jesus Christ. Oh, he'll make it. Like I can attack it from the very basis, right? With facts. Myself and Rafa are great friends. Facts. Like, oh, he'll make it back in shirt sponsors. Oh, you'll make the money back on Ronaldo in shirt sales. How much money out of shirt sales do United get? £100 is a United shirt. How much do they get?
Couldn't tell you. Honestly, couldn't tell you.
£5. You want to send an awful lot of Ronaldo jerseys for that?
They got 700. They got.
But hold on. This is what you're saying. He's going to score this, that, and the other. Instead of having 2 lads that don't do nothing off the ball, now you're going to have 3 lads.
What did I say about him scoring this, that?
Oh, let's not. You lot. You're all the same.
It's the royal you. Yeah, look, we'll hit United towards the end.
Yeah.
Like the Dan James deal did kind of pay for.
Let's be professional, Paul. Come on, move on.
Seemed to pay for it, but right. So we're done with Chelsea then, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
top class. They were my rating anyway.
We're going to move on to Liverpool then. Paul, should be quick.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a poor transfer window, I'd say, for Liverpool. Again, going back to addressing your weak areas in the team, I think they haven't really replaced Wijnaldum. I think that's sort of an attacking midfield player. I don't know if Endel agree with me on this or not, but they certainly addressed the centre-back issue. It's not that I think they've a shortage of centre-backs. I think they might have had a shortage of quality and fit centre-backs last season, which I think was their big problem. But certainly adding Konate into the mix isn't going to do them any harm. But I was surprised that they did so little business, really. whether or not the money is there. I'd find it hard to believe that the money isn't there. I don't see why it wouldn't be. On the back of the success they've had in the last few seasons, they're a well-supported club. They've had Champions League money. They've had plenty of television sponsorship money. There should be money there for Klopp to spend. Obviously, either the targets he was looking at never became available, or
Just on that point, Paul, on the money point, like they are making lots of money, but is that going into an FSG pot, which then could be spent on American teams or other franchises?
I think maybe
Enda
is keen to
lads,
answer that one.
lads, you're painting our club with airbrush. Now back in your box. No, I agree with you to a point. I wouldn't say it was poor. I'd say it was just okay. On the I agree with you. They didn't. For me, they didn't sell enough, and I think this is down to COVID. I think they need to get rid of friggin' half the squad and start again. And there's no market for them out there. They got rid of Wilson for 12 million and Shaqiri for 12 million odd. That's just I'd say that's when maybe it did, maybe it didn't go against the Canati deal. I don't know. They've signed. They're sure. All you can say at this stage is they're signing all their main players back on. So maybe they're going for in I would say in a view to maybe going for a couple of big players next year, so they won't break the salary caps or anything, or salary kind of structure, because they've all the big players signed on. So when the big lads come in and big money, they can't go, oh, hold on, he's on this, that, or the other, and they'll just go, well, you signed the contract, maybe. But that's giving them too much credit, I think.
Well, I was just about to say,
they should have signed more players. I agree with you. Wijnaldum needed replaced. I mean, you're saying there wasn't many chances in the Chelsea game the last day. One fell to fucking Henderson. What did he do? He booted it wide. Like, do you know?
Yeah. But that point, and like in their pomp, when the flat track boys.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
No.
Sure, United were the same.
Hold on. When in their pomp, when United were, winning all their numerous Premier League titles, every 5-6 years, Ferguson would rebuild the team. So, like you're saying, get rid of all the chafe, freshen up the team, and he built probably 4 or 5 sides. But you guys probably need to do that, but you can't do that because like Klopp is going to be probably heading off in a year or two, is he? Like he's not going to be a manager who will run that process for you. He's just going to come in, work with what he has, get what he can out of him, and then and most managers are doing that these days, to be fair. Like it's not just Liverpool.
How long has he been in Liverpool now, though? So what you're saying isn't really true, like.
Well, is this his 4th season?
5th.
Is he there a bit longer than that? Is he? It seems
like
4.5.
It's there longer. 5 years, I think. Definitely 5 or 5.5.
So I think he's going to do about 5, but he's not going to rebuild 2 or 3 teams in his tenure there. I think that's fair to say.
Like the team is all right as it is, like, but they don't have the squad, and that's the most important thing. And that was standing out before. That was standing out before last season. And that was standing out after last season, and we still haven't done it. So I would rate it as just okay, because I mean they're still going to be third by a long way in the Premier League. So, like I think in terms of first 11, I would have you smack bang in the title picture, absolutely. But yeah, I'd agree. I will. I'd put them at third. I'd put them at third.
In terms of any injuries, then
or three lads going to their African Cup of Nations in November, maybe.
Yeah. And
are we likely to see a very close title race this season with numerous teams involved? Because I think, as I said, I still think Chelsea will win it, but I don't believe that the likes of City, United, and Liverpool will be very far behind them. You're not going to see 15, 20 point gaps this season.
No, you won't.
No.
But I like it. Yeah, I agree. They'll win it. I put them at 6 to 10. Maybe they'll win it by. I just think they're like you said, the pragmatism last week to just sit back, have your block of 10 there, and take the points. They were no more than Sleepy G and fucking and Chelsea. Chelsea had no interest in winning that game than the man in the moon. They had no interest, like. Next minute he slips, then Mbappe scores, and then away you go. Like,
Yeah. But the thing is, it's their if they win it, it'll be their first title as a kind of group. So I don't see them skating away with it. I think it'll be very close, like you say.
yeah.
And that's then where the manager comes in. I think having a really good manager to kind of navigate that. That's maybe where we'll have questions on the United side. But
you think?
Tuchel,
No,
Klopp, Pep.
like you said about Liverpool, about I thought you were going to say about Liverpool and then go on about Manchester United, but even Liverpool in the 80s, like every year they bought decent players, decent players.
You have
Added to the squad,
strengthen constantly.
They bought Ray Houghton, they bought John Aldridge, they sold Rush, bought him back, they brought in but they bought Barnes. They bought Beardsley. Do you know where are these players now? I don't know. Yeah. You have to spend money, and I think
I'm pretty sure.
I know, but with these types of players, I'm saying, where's these? Do you know, it's fucking depressing.
It is difficult to guess.
And the worst thing is, I told you that in the summer. I said they've done one now, they won't do another fucking thing, and they never did. Sorry for cursing, lads.
Yeah. Paul, you wanted to get in there.
I can't remember now. I was enjoying Enda's little rant. No, it is hard to. It's easy to spend money. It's hard to get the quality for that, and maybe, maybe that's the way Liverpool are playing it. Let's not waste money on numbers. I mean, they have numbers. I mean, I was just at a quick glance at Liverpool's squad just before we came on, and they still have numbers there. A lot of them are young players. You still have got like Oxlade, Chamberlain there. They're not quality unless you're buying players of a certain quality. There's no point in spending. You see players going. The likes of Ben White, 50 million Arsenal. But Arsenal, I think, have spent more money than anyone in Europe. But
and they're bottom of the league.
They strengthened. I don't think they've strengthened.
Yeah, and is there a coherent strategy? At least you can say that about Liverpool. There seems to be a coherent strategy because they've come out with all these signings. As in, everyone that's half decent has had their contract extension. So by the process of hopeful elimination, in my case, they're going to buy players next year, like decent players.
Possibly.
Well, it could be good for Harvey Elliott as well, and guys like that. They might get more chances.
Oh no, Harvey Elliott is getting his goal. He's well entitled to it as well. Like,
and Curtis Jones as well. Like if he gets more time.
I don't rate him at all.
No,
I don't rate him at all. Okay. Anyway, I must be the only Liverpool fan that never rated him, but I just think he's overrated. Like, he's okay, like, but
he's a strange haircut as well, isn't he? It's isn't that weird? Like, kind of head shaved, got a weird angle type thing. I always looked odd to me.
I don't really look at his hair, to be perfectly honest.
Right.
Yeah, so like that, rated just okay.
Just okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we need to move on.
They'll still finish third, but
we'll move on.
What you got to say? Above United, was it?
Above United. Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't finish above United last season, and we strengthened, and you didn't. Yes, somehow.
Yeah, you spent money. You spent money. But you strengthened.
We strengthened.
You spent money.
We strengthened. Anyway,
of course you did.
Let's not get into this just yet.
Well, we'll get into it shortly. Let's kick off on City, Paul.
Strange. I mean, again, you look at the weak areas of your team, you strengthen them. Were City crying out for a Jack Grealish for £100 million? I don't believe they were. I don't believe they were. I don't get that signing. I like Grealish. I think he's a good player. Is he a £100 million player? No. Is he a player Man City needed? No. There was other areas of City's team, and he's usually been pretty good. I feel since he came there, Guardiola, at addressing the problem areas. He needed fullbacks, he needed centre backs, he needed a keeper. Every area he's addressed.
He bought 7 of each.
Well, he spent an awful lot of money on.
Maybe he did.
Position.
Maybe he did address a problem. Like, I agree in terms of the area of the pitch, it wasn't a problem, but his side lacks leaders, and they lack belief when they really, really need it. And I think he ticks that box. I think Grealish is great for the dressing room, not just the team, and he's added a character, I think, and We all know Roy Keane loves the character, but you do need him.
But £100 million, I know
No.
no player. It's easy to say no
Yeah.
player is worth that, but I just don't see it. I think Villa got a great deal there. I think as much as he was
They did, Paul, but he's Mr. England as well on top of it. Like, he's literally,
yeah, but
he's
He's
marketing.
Mr. Overhyped. Would you stop the 2 year on the fucking Grealish train again? You were at this during the Euros. Stop it.
But I never said what. What did I say? Did I not just say I like Grealish as a player, but I don't think he's that good.
I think he's overrated, as you can tell.
I think there's a certain amount of hype around Grealish because there is something about him. There's some sort of I think maybe it's because the socks are rolled down.
It's the hair again.
He's got there's something about him that, and I can see that there's an appeal, but I think some shows the ability. I don't know that he creates an awful lot. I don't think he scores a lot of goals. He certainly wins a lot of free kicks, and I won't argue with that one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll help him fit into the City team, but they clearly needed somebody
Not
to
this season,
replace
I think.
Aguero. They need somebody to long-term replace Fernandinho because, Rodri isn't a bad player, but he's not.
He's no Fernandinho.
He's no Fernandinho. And Fernandinho I think must be 94 at his next birthday or something like that. I mean, he can't.
And they still go to him every week.
Yeah, and but they do because and again, it's a little bit like the Ronaldo thing. You have as Zlatan is a prime example. Players with quality who look after themselves can play a lot longer and still be quality players. And I think Fernandinho is a really good example of that. And I think he was leaving, and then they convinced him to re-sign for a season. I think that was a big signing for them in many ways because I don't think they could afford to lose him. But I think they put all their eggs in the Harry Kane basket, and that just came crashing down for whatever reason. I think
and Levy burned them.
Yeah, well, no. Listen, I was thinking about this earlier on today about the Levy digging his heels in and just not giving in to City and their pulling power and their money, and in many ways, if you look at what's gone on with PSG and Real Madrid and the whole Mbappe thing, fair play to PSG if they can afford to turn that down, but don't let Real Madrid walk all over. These big clubs. I know PSG are a big club as well, but they're not in Real Madrid's league, and don't be bullied by money. So
they're making a mockery of financial fair play for years.
Yeah,
and it's great to see someone.
There, yeah.
It's great to see someone send them the two fingers.
And like Daniel Levy is not, or certainly was not, the most popular person at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. The fans despise him, but I think he's won them over a little bit with his stance on Kane this season. And
I think they've seen through Kane a bit as well with all this behaviour.
Yeah, I don't know the full ins and outs of it, but it's hard to come out of it. It's hard to say you want to leave. And when it doesn't happen, then it's hard to come out of that looking good, isn't it?
The lesson there is don't have your brother as an agent.
Yeah.
Right.
If that was
how do you classify a wink and a nod on a signed contract? Ask Harry Kane's brother.
If that was a foreign player,
that was Mo Salah, he'd be shot.
He'd be in very, very big trouble, but not Mr. Kane. Right. Any more comments on City? We need to move on to United.
Just okay, I've them rated as, because yes, they got Grealish, but they needed a striker more than anything and didn't get it.
Yeah. Cool. All right, Paul, your beloved United.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Varane deal for me was probably the best. Look at, I think it was 40,
was good business.
40 million. That was
good business. They needed
him.
He's a good
player at a good age. There may be a little question mark about his injury proneness. I know he's had a lot of injuries over the years, but you could see him against Wolves at the beginning. He's just a quality defender. He looks calm on the ball. He doesn't get. He's going to be up against it playing alongside Harry Maguire. That's for sure. He's going to have to be a Rolls Royce defender there.
Yeah. He has pace, which should pick Harry Maguire up.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
But that was certainly one of the areas that we needed to address. I was a bit disappointed we didn't address the defensive midfield issue because as bad as he's played in the past, I don't think I've ever seen anybody play as badly as Fred did against Wolves. He was absolutely shocking, and it appears to be the first name on that team sheet every week.
I reckon
exactly.
He must have been reading Twitter. Maybe that's why he played so bad, because everyone on Twitter is just attacking him.
But everyone's not wrong, and I'm surprised that Solskjaer didn't. We weren't.
What does it say about the other two that he's ahead of them, like?
But this is the thing, and I mean, like, I don't believe there's a United fan out there who thinks he's the best of the options of it. He's the worst.
Yeah, but is he bad because he's not getting the support he needs from the likes of Pogba?
Oh no, he's just bad.
Yeah.
He's just
bad.
Oh
no, there's a bit of that in it, but he's bad as well. But I accept what, like, you have to accept the point Alan made there as well. You have to accept it. Like, Pogba can't play in it too.
No. I don't, because I'm talking about basic stuff. I'm talking about passing the ball to your own player. Passing the ball to your own player who's 6 yards away from you. That's nothing to do with Pogba or Fernandes. That's purely Fred's inability to do it.
Yeah.
And he's never done it. He's never done it in the 5. I think he's been there 5 seasons now. Yeah. He's never done it. But
I've seen a few derbies, Paul. He's been top class. Like,
listen,
there's
no doubt about it. The guy gives 110% in every game, but he has to just to achieve 50% of the standard that anybody else would.
Yeah.
That's the long and the short of it, really.
Yeah.
Sancho, for me,
didn't need him.
Didn't need him.
Yeah.
Jury is out for me on how good Sancho really is. I don't really buy. I don't really think that performance as a supposedly high standard in the Bundesliga equates to a lot, because that is a poor league. You talk about France and Spain, but really, like, some of them German teams, they're so bad. You take Dortmund, Bayern. Really, if you take those two out of that, the rest of them are also runs. It's no better than
maybe Werder Bremen and Schalke, and the rest of them are.
Yeah, I mean, Schalke got relegated last season, though, didn't they?
Did they? Fuck.
Yeah, I mean,
they did too. Yeah.
They got hockeyed every week. They were one of the big German sides.
You've got
Raúl played for them at one stage.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, jury's out on him. He's young. We paid a lot of money for him, but listen, lads, I don't care what you say. And bringing Ronaldo back, that's.
Oh! Look at the smile on your face. Oh, listen, stop! Stop! You're going into nostalgia now.
He is not just the United legend. He is probably one of the 2 greatest footballers that's ever lived, that any of us will ever see. And
any of us will ever see anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's 36 years of age. I don't care if he's 46. He will score 20 Premier League goals this season. There's no doubt about it, because if he's given the chance, if he's in that, he's not gonna be flying down the wing like he used to be before. That's not the sort of player he is now. But he will finish them. Left Gavin Bazunu was in goals. Legend that was going to sign for City.
Yeah. And
City wouldn't pay the money.
He wasn't. He was
who said he wasn't, though? Who said he wasn't, like?
Apparently that was a stunt, but
I believe that.
Yes.
And give us your view on United.
I just put it. The only reason I put them average to middling, as in, I only have 4 things, lads. It's either top class or average to middling, okay, or just okay. So
just give us a bit of credit, will you? For love of God.
Hey, listen, will you let me speak? Right, like Paul said, Varane's a good signing. They needed a centre back, but they needed a midfield, not just one midfielder. They need a midfield. If you watched them against Wolves, you had Fred and the 4 at the back, and you had everyone else up forward and no one in the middle. Yeah. And that's not going to change with Ronaldo. That's actually going to get worse, because now you'll have 3 lads shoving Greenwood out of the way. Greenwood, who you readily accept, is it?
I think Greenwood
will learn from him.
I think he will, but I think Greenwood starts. Greenwood starts.
Oh,
over
yeah,
Sancho.
he should.
I
He
think
should.
he will,
But
though. I think he will.
if you spot the Southampton game, like they weren't Pogba and Fernandes weren't really passing to him, and every time he went to go into the box, the two of them were in the box in front of him.
Yeah.
Now that'll be worse because you'll have three of them.
I think you're right, and that there is a balance issue now in the squad.
Yeah, there's a massive. And what are you going to do with Cavani?
Yeah, it's going to be down to Solskjaer to solve that problem.
And there's your problem as well. Yeah, listen, because I only had 4 classifications, average to middling. The average to middling being, I don't get the whole Ronaldo coming back thing, and I don't think you needed Sancho. It was good business getting rid of James now, but yeah. That's for me, average to middling.
It was good money.
Top class
James.
Chelsea, average to middling United, and just okay City and Liverpool.
Yeah, but I think going back to the point about characters, like I think Ronaldo will be a great character to have in that dressing room. I think he'll set a standard, and it'll be up to the likes of Pogba
another prima donna, is it?
He just can't. He's obsessed, man. Alan, you're at nothing talking to him about United.
Another prima donna.
A hater.
That's the great example you want to be setting. Okay, fair enough.
Right.
I just talk facts, lads. I just talk facts.
Lads, we're at the top of the 40 minutes, so thanks.
We need more subscribers so we can pay for the hour.
So some of us can pay for the hour.
Exactly that. Thanks for your time as ever, lads. And we'll be back again next week with another topic. So stay tuned, everybody. See you later.
Cheerio.
Peace.
Bye.